a detective story in which you are the detective. The question is not who is the murderer, but who is the werewolf. After all the clues have been shown, you will get a chance to give your answer. Watch for the werewolf break.
I am the Clever Loader, and without me there are no films. In 1974, The Beast Must Die. When was the last time you heard a movie have an intro like that? I don't know of any other movie that has been so audience interactive. The Beast Must Die stars Calvin Lockhart as an eccentric, wealthy, air quotes, businessman who invites a group of people, friends and lovers, to his estate way, way far off in the middle of some island where you need transportation to get back to civilization. And he invites them all there. There's people with all different types of personalities, and they're not really sure why they're there. Eventually, Mr. Lockhart goes on to explain why he invited them all. And that reason is because he believes, as the intro suggests, that someone is a werewolf. And as the title suggests, Mr. Lockhart's character believes that the beast must die. How genius is this? I'm wondering if they could ever do an update, not a remake, because this is just such a beautiful piece of work. This is blaxploitation horror. Calvin Lockhart is a black actor that was popular in the 60s and 70s with his work on just a lot of different things. And this is his leading role. If you look him up, the first thing that comes up is this particular movie for him. And he sells it well because the people that he has, there's veteran Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing could have easily been the lead. But no, it's Calvin Lockhart. I think that at the time there was a blaxploitation film surge, and this film was added to it. It's at this moment free on Tubi for you to watch. Now, don't get that confused with The Beast Must Die, which they've used this title now with a television show. I had never heard of it until I went to find this particular film. But nonetheless, there it is. And unfortunately, for the original Beast Must Die, it has taken over the top spot. So when you look up The Beast Must Die from 1974, you must look it up by the title and then add in the name. The date. So, again, Calvin Lockhart was the leader. He's the principal actor here, along with Peter Cushing, and Marlene Clark, who did a lot of work in blaxploitation films. Charles Gray. Do you recognize that name? You may not recognize Charles Gray's name, but you would definitely recognize his face because he was seen in 2 James Bond movies, Diamonds Are Forever and You Have Only Lived Twice. Very popular British actor. Very interesting that he's in here when he was, the bad guy, Mr. White in Diamonds Are Forever, if you're familiar with that. Also in the cast is Anton Diffring. He is kind of like the sidekick to Tom Newcliffe, which is Calvin Lockhart's character. Tom Newcliffe. What a name for an entrepreneur, businessman. And then you have, rounding out the cast, the very popular British actor Michael Gambon. We all know him. I know him specifically. Oh, he was so rotten in The Cook, The Thief, his wife, and her lover. I believe that's from 90. I could be wrong on that date, but what a film. A feast for the eyes that movie is. And we also have Ciaran Madden, who plays Davina. And we have Tom Chadbon as Paul Foote. Those are the main, that's the main cast there. But again, as the movie itself starts out with Tom Newcliffe testing out his camera and sonar equipment on his island to make sure that he can catch this particular beast. And, the way it's shot, you see this guy running and breathing heavy, and you get the sense that he's being chased, he's being monitored, and they set it up to make it look like he's the beast. And, I mean, if that was the case, the movie would be over in 5 minutes, he'd be dead, and that's it. But no. This movie makes you do your due diligence in watching it to make sure that you also, as the intro suggests, find the clues. Who could be this werewolf? Or actually, and more importantly, is there an actual werewolf? We don't know. Now, as I said before about Calvin Lockhart just had a long career. He was also in, strangely enough, Predator 2. That was 1990. Wild at Heart, also in 1990. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Another blaxploitation, Let's Do It Again, where, strangely enough, he plays a character named Biggie Smalls in 1975. So he's obviously been around. He knows what he's doing, and he had a very fruitful career. He did a lot of blaxploitation films in the 70s and continued his work until his passing in 2007 when he was 72. So he was around for a very long time, gracing screens, small screens and large screens alike. So, The Beast Must Die. I absolutely 100% recommend that you watch this movie and do your homework. I mean, make sure that you know what's happening. Who is the werewolf? Is there a werewolf? How will they find the werewolf? It's quite intriguing and quite interesting that they were able to get this movie greenlit and to have such audience interaction. You would think that this kind of movie would definitely not have been made, but definitely not have been made with a black lead, which I find interesting for the time. Again, I do believe that they were jumping on the blaxploitation train. I don't know. I don't run across many blaxploitation films that were horror films like this one is. So this one is a unique one because of those two things. It fits in both genres. I hope that you give The Beast Must Die a shot if you haven't already. It is on my tops of blaxploitation horror films to watch every year. Actually, more than once a year. I love this one along with Blackula and Scream, Blackula, Scream. Those are just 3 very popular films. This one being, I think, being the lesser of the popular, but nonetheless, still good. I, again, would love to see an updated version of this, because it really does, as we all are, we are armchair detectives when we're watching a movie, a mystery of some sort, and we're trying to figure it out before the characters in the movie figure it out. And with this, they really do encourage the interaction for the audience to find out who the werewolf is. And in the middle of the movie, there is a quote unquote, air quotes, werewolf break where they stop the film and they discuss each character and why each character could or could not be the werewolf, which is just it's very well done. Very well done. I enjoy it. I hope that you enjoy it. And again, free on Tubi and definitely available on most platforms. Amazon Prime, I believe, still has it available for rental. YouTube for rental. But when you catch it on cable or whatever, have a seat and see if you can figure out the mystery. And before the exciting climax and conclusion. I'm the Clapper Loader. Today I'm talking about The Beast Must Die, 1974. I was 2 years old. It's all good. And there are no films without me. There are no films.